Welcome to Project Co-Mingle. Hi, my name is Joyce McAndrews and I'm an avid street photographer. As I walked the Seattle streets these past couple of years, I came across a huge number of construction projects that kept popping up in various neighborhoods. At the end of 2016, there were 61 cranes in the Seattle skyline, more than any other city in the country, in fact, more than San Francisco and New York combined. I was inspired to develop a project depicting all the changes that were taking place in our once quaint city. And then one day I came upon a site on the corner of Thomas and Bourne, once home to the Troy Laundry Building and the Bourne Investment Company. Both were designated Seattle landmarks. On the corner was a sign, a hand-painted sign that read, Co-Mingle. I thought it was the construction company encouraging the community to all get along, to co-mingle with the crew during yet another construction project in South Lake Union. I was intrigued. That night I thought, maybe I can ask the construction company if I could shoot inside the curtain fences instead of shooting inside the links of the fences. So I went out and I bought a couple of hard hats. A few days later, my friend Sarah Littlefield and I went down to the site and we asked a couple of the guys on the crew if we could get in. After several no's, one of the guys went into the office and asked the head of the crew if we could get in. After a safety class and a promise not to get hurt, the head of the crew gave us permission. From the moment I stepped inside the curtain fences of the Troy block, I was awestruck. We climbed down what seemed 100 feet of scaffolding into a giant pit, which was the size of an entire city block. I was expecting chaos and destruction, but what I witnessed was this beautifully choreographed and orchestrated operation. 2 cranes brought in supplies, trucks dumped tons of dirt, giant funnels poured cement into the columns, workers carried rebar, there were tractors digging, a huge conveyor belt was moving stuff from the bottom of the pit to the street level. It was a loud whirlwind of activity. I knew that I had to see more. What I had experienced did not support my somewhat negative opinion about the construction that was taking place in our city. After a few visits, I discovered the true meaning of Co-Mingle. It was not a community outreach message. Instead, it was the area on the site that acted more or less like the trash pit. An area where unused materials were discarded, sifted through, and whenever possible, recycled. I couldn't have been more wrong about the meaning of Co-Mingle. I went there to shoot because I thought the sign was for community outreach when it was really just for a dumpster. Luckily on that day, I was told to keep the company vest, the glasses, and the gloves for future visits. I felt like I was part of the crew. Shortly after the thrill came my dilemma. I started the project hating the demolition of the old buildings and the destruction of the neighborhoods, and now I was starting to respect the other side, amidst a citywide heated debate between those who loved the new and those who cherished the quaint and the familiar. I was witness to the human side of the construction world, and as a result, I was able to see the positive side of development. This project positively captivated me for the greater part of 3 years. I've lost count of the number of times I've returned to the site. The crew welcomed me over and over again as an outsider, to come into their space and to photograph their world. Their pride in their work and their dedication to their trade radically impacted me. They invited me to the topping off party, which is a celebration of when the building structure is complete. And it was there that I got permission to have a show. At the opening party in September for the Troy block, it is my intention to share my unique experience behind the curtain fences. My wish is to obtain enough financial support to present Project Co-Mingle. The exhibit will co-mingle materials, wood and metal. Similar to this piece that I made behind me, on a 4-foot by 6-foot panel, we'll have 4 of those and they'll be divided by trade. There will be 130 various size photographs printed on metal I will build 8 4-foot by 10-foot walls that will hold the panels, and they will be placed in the center of the Troy block between the north and south towers where the pedestrian walkthrough is. We'll also pick the top 10 images from Project Co-Mingle and print them on 48 by 24. And as you walk through the Troy Laundry's original entrance, there will be a larger-than-life slideshow. For the opening party and show, there will be postcards and posters printed for street marketing, inviting the South Lake Union community and other neighborhoods. Among the various guests will be Touchstone Northwest, the developers, Lease Crutcher Lewis, the contractors, especially the crew, the occupants of the North and South Towers, Amazon and Fair Start, family, friends, artists, and city planners. Where else would groups like these commingle? Project Co-Mingle is not just an art show, it's an experience. I feel a great sense of pride for the time I spent documenting the rise of this historic Seattle landmark. I want the community to know this story, to appreciate and celebrate the Troy block alongside the contractors, the developers, especially the crew, to move through the space as the architects had intended. I need your financial support to make this show come to life. I want you to be moved by this as I have been. Welcome to Project Co-Mingle. Thank you.